Are you fascinated with unique plants? Are you always looking for new and different plants to put out in your garden every year? Well, if so, this next part of our program is just for you. We call it the Plant Collector's Garden. And once a month, we'll feature some of the unique, uncommon, or unusual plants that nature has to offer. Well, one of the first plants we want to show you is this Jatropha. This is a tropical shrub, and it's from Cuba. And it can be used here in Oklahoma as a tall summer bedding plant. You get these brilliant red flowers and these glossy green leaves that stand up to our intense heat and high humidity. Now, an interesting thing about the Jatropha is that it is what we call a monoecious plant, and this means that it has male and female flowers right on the same plant. Now, this is different than something like the hollies, which you have female flowers on one plant and male flowers on another plant, and thus you only get the berries on the female plant. But if you look at this cluster right here, you can see these little yellow pollen all over these anthers right here. These are the male flowers. And if you look right down here, we have a different type flower, and these are the pistils of the female flowers. Well, we're going to use this in our studio garden this year, in a garden that's going to be kind of tropical. And being that it's a tropical, it's not cold hardy here in Oklahoma. But if you have a small greenhouse or a room with a bright sunny window, it can be overwintered. Well, let's go take a look at our next plant here on the Plant Collector's Garden. Well, it's predicted that in the future, our gardens are going to be a lot smaller, especially in urban areas as space becomes unavailable. Well, if you're a plant collector like I am, and you like to grow a lot of different kinds of plants, we would have to look for plants that aren't going to take over the garden, or dwarf type plants. Now, this plant right here is a Japanese plum yew, and you'll never have to worry about this plant taking over your garden. It's extremely slow growing. In fact, this plant has been growing in this spot for almost 25 years. Now, this is a fastigiate form of the Japanese plum yew, and that means that it's upright and very columnar, very narrow growing attractive shrub. And an interesting thing about the Japanese plum yew, it's related to the common yew, but it's different in that its genus is different and its family is different. And one characteristic of the Japanese plum yew is that its terminal buds are large and shaped like little pineapples. With the common yew, like we have right here, you can see that its terminal buds aren't nearly as large, and plus the leaves are arranged differently. Well, this is a versatile plant. It can grow in the sun or the shade. It doesn't tolerate heavy clay soils, but it is tolerant of our extreme heat here in Oklahoma, and it's also very cold hardy. Well, that's all the plants we have today on the Plant Collector's Garden.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.